Alrighty, good morning. It is July 20th, 2026. It is Tuesday, and markets are once again red, at least on the NASDAQ. And once again, as we've been seeing for the past few weeks, we have another divergence. NASDAQ is red, the S&P is green. Right here, 27,950, another top wick on NASDAQ. ES is rolling back over, and we are live from Options Millionaire Studio. Thanks for hanging out with us. Of course, I'm Andrew. Let me know if you have any questions as we get the day kicked off. 1 day till FOMC. Next week, or I'm sorry, tomorrow is FOMC. The day after that is Apple. Apple earnings, baby. Going crazy. So at the moment, we have VIX hanging out at 1860. Oil bounced. Gold bounced after a little bit of red. ES, NASDAQ, both just kind of trickling over here. And we're looking to get the day cranked out. The overall theme here we are seeing in the opens has been dump the New York Open. So red out of the gate. We'll see if they break the pattern today. But we're going to get cranking. Crazy news out of the prop firms as somebody else once again sues Apex prop firms. $400,000 in evaluation spent with $0 in payouts taken. I don't even know how that's statistically possible. I don't even know how that's possible. Even slot machines pay out eventually if you're treating it as a slot machine. So I don't actually know how that's even possible. But if you ever think you're a bad trader, then just keep that in mind. I wonder how much an average person spends on prop firms per year. Lucid pays $500 million in 15 months with 90,000 registered traders. I don't know. I mean, I've seen obviously some pretty crazy numbers. People I've talked to 100,000, 120,000. I personally spend anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 a month. That's what I budget for, at least. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Of course, always maintaining profitability. That's the goal. But the people that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, I just don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. It's unbelievable. ES is coming off. NASDAQ, huge sweeping top wick here, 27,903 after 28. We have put buying, call selling, and yet another New York session red candles. We'll see if it actually continues. Yesterday was a phenomenal sell-off that eventually led to a phenomenal bounce. But this case, we already dumped it back over and put it in a new low in pre-market areas. So will the bulls be able to defend today's open after such a red move? NASDAQ dumping back over. ES getting killed, 74.41 off of 74.62. It's a 20-point down move on NASDAQ. What's up, Trippy Mike? How you doing? How you doing, Trippy Mike? Congratulations to Proggy sitting right now in the delivery room with a son about to be born. Congratulations. I extended an offer to him if he names his son after me. Take the family name, son. Take the family name. Big red candle, 74.42. NASDAQ dropping back over. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's see. I saw a tweet that Top Step moved one of their good top traders to live after not even taking a payout on their funded account. Oof. Oof. Coming back over 27,880. We have a pivot here at 27,840. That's our first main pivot. And yet another, like I said, red New York session open. ES is coming off. NASDAQ is coming off. We have triple bounce at 74.33. VIX is green. Crazy stuff by 2%. We're approaching once again to the 20s. And another liquidation event. Very fast out of the open here. Very fast out of the open. Let's see, 20. ES has another 19 points to go before they hit their overnight low if they're going to do that. We have liquidity up to 74.70. Crazy moves, baby. Crazy moves. Will they dump it for 2 days in a row? Only time will tell into tomorrow's FOMC. What's up, Pine Beach Dan? How you doing? Good morning. All right, a little bit of a green off of the bottom side of volume profile. Bottom wick on the S&P. Right here. Good morning, YouTube. How's it going with y'all? Who is bearish or bullish today? Or especially into tomorrow? ES is bottom wicking right here. Still failing, not a lot of craziness. NASDAQ is coming off. I'll be looking for a volume inflow here at 27,840. 27,840 will give us our first support to really trigger. Options are starting to trickle back into bearish. I would expect the bulls to hit a little bit more aggressively than yesterday. However, the macro conditions are conducive for downside. So you have to counter the micro with the macro conditions. Macro conditions are very top wicky. If you look on the daily chart, NASDAQ is getting smoked now for the 5th day in a row. We are down from 29.3 to 27.8. Down, down, down. Do I think today will be a range day? I do not think today will be a range day. At least not in the typical manner. I think tomorrow morning will be a range day. I think today is the last day of moving day. Before tomorrow we kind of come in and figure out what's going on. Nice little bottom wick. There we go. Coming up. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. When they dump it too far out of the open, there's always a play to be made. Here's ES. There's NASDAQ. ES engulfed that move and put on the pivot at 74.33. Crazy stuff, man. Beautiful open. Fantastic open. A lot of love this movement here. That's 110 points down on NASDAQ, and that's already about a 50-point bounce back up. So I love big opens, and that's been the theme this week. Very aggressive movement. Very aggressive movement. We have 316 in puts sold, 230 in calls purchased. Very exciting open. Very exciting open. I love it. Just like yesterday. It's better than the chop fest that we are seeing on the macro. Top of the hour, we have CB Consumer Confidence, which is a 3-star event, and Fed GDP, which is a 2-star event. All before tomorrow. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Shaking and baking, baby. Shaking and baking. Making money left and right. Making money left and right. Liquidity on the book is all over the place. We have no icebergs. Things are flat in terms of liquidity. NASDAQ's main liquidity is sitting at 825. 825 right here, baby. All the way down, 27,870. NASDAQ dumping back over right there after a sweeping top wick. And where's that going to go there? Overnight low position is sitting right at 839. Still coming down. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Extended moves. After the sweeping top wick. So we had the attempt at the buy, which was lower volume, and then immediate dump back over as the bears continue to control the New York Opens. Here's the overnight low position at 830. Right there at 830. Do we get a volume spike on any of this? Do we get a volume spike on any of this? We just filled the last liquidity on the book map. Right here. Got a lot of clicking going on here. I got like 15 things I have to look at. data aggregation error on Bookmap. That's not good. All right, still coming off NASDAQ. Very bearish open again. Out of the gate, just like yesterday. Dump, dump, dump. The theme here on the macro scale is down. Obviously, they are not liking the concept of FOMC tomorrow and everything else going on with mega cap earnings. Coming down. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Shaking and baking, baby. Shaking and baking. Beautiful open. Very aggressive open. Plenty of trades. 27,820. That's why. Let's zoom out here. All the way down. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Dumping all the way back over. We're already down almost 220 points. Right there since the open on NASDAQ. Getting wrecked. Straight down. No 3C bouncing. No bottom wicks. No higher highs. Still coming down. SpaceX. Where's that at? 107. It's almost down to our beautiful 100 sub mark. SanDisk is down another 11.5%. MU is down 9%. Tech continues to get destroyed. And this is slowly turning into a catastrophic setup of market conditions. Slowly turning into catastrophic conditions on the macro environment. Tech is bleeding. Bleeding. You stabbed my dad. Could get the first DCA this week? Yeah, buddy. What if FOMC comes out and absolutely wrecks the market and SpaceX finally goes below 100 or 90? Maybe we get our 70 like sooner than we think. It's crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Crazy. All right. Green candle with volume right here, firstly. Just got our 1 hour demand starting at 27,750. Yeah, buddy. So we just hit the bottom of the trend line, which is not that big of a trend line. Very large engulfing on the hourly, starting from Monday morning and just dump, dump, dump. We have a 2-time bounce right in this area on NASDAQ. All that to say is that if you look left, we start entering into the first pivot here at about 700 or so, going back towards May. So this is we're dealing with very major supports here. June lows, monthly lows, May lows, but the bears are absolutely just maintaining insane control of the charts. And if you look at the watch list here, you see why. The S&P is actually doing pretty well. Very, very green on the S&P. XLP is up 3%, XLY 8.8, XLRE 1.25, XLV is up 2.7%. The S&P is incredibly green, very green. The only thing that's bleeding right now is tech, which is what we've been seeing now for a couple of months. It's the reason why the S&P is still hanging out near all-time highs and NASDAQ is getting clapped because of this. What we're seeing here in a nutshell, right here. 27,700 is Bookmap liquidity way down, and still there are no signs of bottom wicks or 3C indications on the S&P as NASDAQ. There's NASDAQ right here. No bouncing yet. Not until you get a higher high or a 3C. We do have the highest volume candle of the day coming in at 940, but still so far there are no bottom wicks. It's still straight down just like yesterday. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did yesterday, which is being very patient and waiting for the exact bottom wick that I need. They're selling calls like crazy, but they're selling puts like crazy too. But NASDAQ is still straight down. Insanely bearish all day, every day. They're selling everything. NASDAQ could go another 200 points before a bounce. NASDAQ can go another 200 points before a bounce. Straight freaking down. Macro conditions are incredibly, incredibly, incredibly bearish all over. It's hard to believe MU is over 1,200%. Yep. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did yesterday. I'm going to sit here and wait, and I'm going to watch until I get the exact thing I need for a bounce, and I'm going to trigger it, and I'm going to make all the money I need, baby. Straight down. I just passed my first evaluation in a long time. Nice, yo, cheerio. NASDAQ is getting absolutely destroyed. We are down another 200 points from the open, and that's not even from the overnight highs. Overnight highs were down 600 points. Deeper and deeper. Way down. Incredible, incredible sell across the market. We are entering some conditions that will lead to a market-wide sell-off. Like, this is going to get spicy very quickly. And this is going to turn into, holy crap, this is a boring macro consolidation, to holy crap, NASDAQ just rocketed down 30%. NASDAQ just tanked 30%. And we're going to look back and say, how did this happen? We were just consolidating for like 2 months. Well, it's because tech started to pop. The 6-year tech bubble finally starts to pop. And tech drops 30%. Oof. Big oof. Big oof. Big oof. What's up, YouTube? Talk to me. What positions you got? What positions you got open? Someone out there is having a good day. TradingView has yield curves now. Nice. Nice. Another top wick on the 1 minute. No 3C long indications on NASDAQ whatsoever. It's only selling right now. Only selling. This is mimicking yesterday's open. When you get 2 opens like this back to back, it just really highlights how aggressive this market is and how strong the sellers are. This is time. This is time. It's crazy, man. Strange it pops when all these $1 trillion IPOs hitting. Yeah, but that's what happened back in 1998, 1999. All the IPOs were popping and killing it. Everybody around the water cooler was becoming millionaires, and all of a sudden, market was down 60%. Look, another red candle. This is the exact same open as yesterday. Down, down, down. Just straight liquidation across the markets. Straight, unadulterated liquidation across the markets. SanDisk is down 13%. MU is down 10%. AVGO is down 3%. And NVIDIA is down 1.5%. SpaceX is down almost 6%. And the markets are getting clobbered. The markets are getting clobbered. We're going to be down 30% on a market-wide sell-off. This could be the big sell-off. This could be the big sell-off. All the way down, baby. All the way down. It's fantastic. If FOMC turns out to be bad, down we go, baby. Down we go. Plus midterms are coming up. Look at this. Straight down. This is an aggressive sell. An aggressive sell all the way down, baby. No longing. Don't buy anything. Straight selling. Straight shorting, baby. Not until you have a 3C long, just like yesterday. Yesterday, 3Cs, I guarantee you there's not a single system out there that called the bottom like the 3Cs yesterday. It was perfect. The volume, the wicks are absolutely perfect for the 3Cs. And today is going to be no different. Today is going to be no different. Congratulations, you have stumbled across the #1 best stream in YouTube. And all you have to do is follow the volume in the 3Cs, baby. You're welcome. Congratulations. It's your lucky day. It's your lucky day. This is where people who have learned how to properly dollar cost into positions makes life-changing money. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Still straight down. No 3Cs, no bottom wick. This is institutional high volume selling all the way down. No bottom wicks, no longing, straight down. They're going to kill everybody who's trying to buy the dip. Everybody who's trying to buy the dip, straight down. 27,700 down. We're already down almost 400 points from the pivot at 0,900. This is the exact same open as yesterday. It's rare to get 2 opens like this. It's rare to get 2 opens like this. Straight down. Even the 30-second chart is not even printing a higher high. That's how aggressive this downtrend is. All the way down. All the way down. There's no liquidity anywhere on the book except down. Every single candle is plunging lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. No 3C longs, no volume, no bottom wicks, only shorting. Straight freaking down. This is what happens when all of the golden eggs of the market get clapped like this. SpaceX down 6, AVGO is down 3, SanDisk is down 13%, MU's down 10, Tesla down almost 2. This is what happens, baby. No 3C longs, no longing yet. What's up, Ramos? Deacon, how you doing? Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the #1 stream on YouTube, the only place where you actually learn. Instead of getting caught up in childish drama, who's better than who, you actually learn. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. Can you explain the price action difference of what we should be expecting from bull market to bear market? Yeah, so the overall theme is higher highs or lower lows. Obviously that identifies a trend. But the character of the market differentiates, in my opinion, more than the obvious trend. I think everyone can look at a large green trend and say that's a bull market and vice versa. But it's the characteristics of the price action that tells you which one's which. So frequent bottom wicks that lead to higher highs, frequent bottom wicks with volume that lead to upward mobility, that's more of a bull market, indicative of a bull market. And then conversely, the bear market's the other way around. So everything that's sold down, 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 you start entering in a bear market. And then the last remaining trigger is when you break through the overarching supportive consolidation. In this case, if you look out to the longer time frame charts right here, the last line of defense was 28,235 that we've been in now since May. We finally took that out, and now you start extending lower. Now, in terms of the daily candles, really the way we like to see things is greenish mornings and then dump it back over and hold it low. Greenish mornings, dump it back over again and hold it low. The key point there is that the bulls never recover back to the highs in the afternoons. Yes, they could put on a temporary bounce. Just like yesterday, we had a fantastic buy opportunity yesterday, but they didn't recover. And that's the key. If they start recovering highs, that tells you that we're getting ready to head back up and the bear trend is coming to an end. A little bit of a bounce right now, coming off of 27,660. Right here, 27,760. Bottom wick on the 5. We need to close with volume, by the way. That's the highest volume candle of the day. With volume, we need to close right here at 763. That's your 3C to come up. That's your 3C come up. Fantastic, fantastic price action. Is this the bounce? I don't know. So far, the bears are already clobbering the bounce. It shows you how aggressive the selling is. However, so far, this is already a more aggressive bounce than what we saw yesterday morning. So maybe the bears will kind of shake out, the bulls will shake out the bears here. But already, I mean, you see how aggressive the price action is overall. Aggressive buying. The sellers are about to put a new low already. One single bounce to the tune of almost 200 points is already about to get it undone in 30 seconds. The sellers are already going to undo 200 points in 30 seconds. This is a phenomenal, volatile market today. Phenomenally volatile market. Right here. And once we close over the 5-minute 3C, which is right here, at 762, you'll have to say Gunga, Gunga Kalunga. Gunga Kalunga. When you long, you will have turtle consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Daily gold made. Nice, Logan. Here's the 4-hour chart coming down. We have call buying, put selling on the options at the moment. So they are starting to rotate back into it. We are starting to rotate back into it right here. Aggressive put buying. Aggressive. I'm sorry, put selling. Put selling. I said put buying. It's put selling. So it looks like they're doing what they did yesterday afternoon. If you notice, yesterday afternoon, they began to sell puts into support as premiums elevate on the puts, of course. As premiums elevate on the puts, now that brings in the institutions to start selling that premium. They start to juice that big old juicy orange at the bottoms, and that's what we're seeing now. So when you have active put selling, that doesn't necessarily mean that bears are done. It doesn't mean that we're going to drop. It just simply means they're going to start to juice some of that premium. You're going to start to see a little bit of IV crush, a little bit of premium drop, and possibly just a temporary reprieve from the selling to back up. Now, the bulls are trying to get it back up, but I mean, we're seeing 100-point top wicks on the 1 minute in seconds. And NASDAQ is already about to put a new low of the day in here. ES is pretty much doing the same. Large sweeping red candles across the board. They are not going to let the bulls win at all. Look at this. Aggressive engulfing 1 minute candles. These are 100-point, 200-point 1 minute candles on the NASDAQ. Phenomenally bearish on the price action. Right here. It's incredible stuff. That's the right routine. That is right. For all of our new members, come out of the woodworks. Don't be lurkers. Don't be shy. Come out and say hi. More people in the stream than we've had in probably a year, which is awesome. Come say hi. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Konnichiwa. Oh. Appreciate you, Mojo. Appreciate you. It appears the bears are going to refresh lows. There's not enough order flow here to get to the 3C high yet. You see that how everything is too much selling in the book. So it looks like we're going to have to put in a new low to gather inventory, possibly down to 620, 630 on NASDAQ before we actually regather weapons and ammo and start putting in an attack higher. Let's see the open here. Right, there's the open. Incredibly volatile. We never got to the 50%, which tells you how crazy the selling is, and we are about to put in a new low here. We're about to take out 660 and probably go to 630 at least, maybe even 600. Right here. There we go, 690. I would probably say even under 600 at this point. Still going. Watching MES, nice. Hello, Mikas, how you doing? Jimba, welcome. Welcome back, love it. Side Guru, free like buttons, definitely. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure everyone is joining the #1 YouTube stream in the business, where you actually learn. 670, 680. Right now, I'm watching volume down in this area. We already have a volume top wick, which occurred there at 950. Incredibly bearish session. The order flow is overwhelmingly bearish. Overwhelmingly bearish is what we're seeing on the order book here. There is absolutely nothing bullish about this chart whatsoever on the order book or on the price action. Overwhelmingly bearish here. Coming down. And now we're going to take out 630 and probably 600, and we are going to plummet. This could lead to a 30% correction in the markets. The price action is that bearish, and I don't say that lightly. This could be the 30% correction that we are waiting on based on what we're seeing here. And if SpaceX goes under 70, you know what I'm going to do. There we go. Another drop there, 27,670. Can you explain what the 3 C's are? I can, yes. So the 3 C's are my system. That's what I based my system, my entries on, and it stands for the 3 criteria. The first criteria of which is volume spikes. Second criteria is a price action wick, and the third criteria is the right side of the V, which is either a higher high or a lower low if you're looking for a short position. Kids' portfolio is going into SpaceX, 70% of it. Heck yeah, man. SpaceX under 40 is what Amazon was to our parents in 1998. What Apple was back in the 90s and 80s. Do it. Do it. You're welcome. 30 years in the future, you will think back and like, man, that dude was right. That random YouTuber I saw on YouTube one day made me millionaires. Changed my family tree. Absorbing here for another low. Probably down under 600. Coming down. Coming down. There we go. Dropping down again. Get ready for the plunge. Get ready for the plunge. Hey, where's Routine at in his plumber, in his plunger? Good, it's about to go. Flush it. Flush it. Here we go. Here comes under 600. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're going under 600, baby. Make ready. Fix bayonets. You're welcome, Mecca. How you doing? I love it. I was thinking about how successful trading can change my family tree. Best I've come up with is upgrading the wife. There you go. 650 then 600 is liquidity on NASDAQ, straight down. Nothing but top wicks. We had one aggressive buy up, and then the sellers immediately smoked it. And that tells you right there, if you know how to read price action, when the sellers immediately smoke it, They didn't even let the buyers hang on for 10 minutes. It was immediate smoke fest. Back down. It tells you how aggressive the sellers are. You cannot buy the dip. There it goes. Here it goes. There it goes. Might be the day to YOLO GameStop positions. Heck yeah. Literally no movement on the puts at this level. It'll pop. Yeah. They are aggressively selling puts here, so there's no put buying on the hero whatsoever. It's straight put selling, which means they're continue to sell it. So I do think that we are nearing the bottom of this move, but I still think we have to go a touch lower to gather inventory, to gather weapons and ammo. We just stormed the beaches. Now we have to gather weapons and ammo before we make our next attack, and I think that's what will happen. I do think we are going to put in a bounce, and I am going to exploit it because I love those type of bounces. There we go. There's another green candle instantly hammered back down. So still, you'll know the difference. Just like yesterday, the change of character of the price action changed. The market changed character when we bounced, and it was fantastic. Today, we'll do the exact same thing. So don't worry. Don't worry. What's up, Nomad Trader? How you doing? How you doing? Large engulfing green. Can they hold the 5-minute 3C? Can they do it? Can they do it? Can you take me higher? Can they do it? Man, the options are aggressively bullish. Straight call buying, put selling. Where's Phil? I need Phil to correlate my information. He's my hero guy. $1.2 billion puts sold. We're up to 700 million calls purchased. I think that's what I'm getting here. So they are selling puts into this level, which means I do think we are nearing the bottom of this area, of this move, at least temporarily. Just temporarily. I'm not saying this afternoon. I'm saying temporarily now. I think we are nearing the bottom of this move for now. Plus or minus, más or menos, a couple of points. 27,700. I've been hanging out on the Cinco. Let's go to the Uno. We still cannot get a higher high close without getting demolished. Not the best indication for any kind of a bounce. Yep, that's what I'm seeing too. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Put selling, call buying. So they are starting to juice the premium into this low area. I've had to reduce position size the last couple of days. I already trade super small, but I found myself getting all jumpy with this volatility. I learned that I don't need to learn to trade walk. I'm going to trade a short term. Yeah, so you're right. I think Mojo made a great comment about that last week or this week, that he takes the average of the range of 2-minute candles, and that's how he determines position size. And that's his way to analyze volatility. When the average range of a 2-minute candle starts to expand, like right now, a 2-minute candle is probably 100 points on NASDAQ. You can't trade the same position size when the average range of a 2-minute candle is 20 points, because one false move and boom, you're done. You're done. That's why, that's why it helps to understand the absolute macro environment. Yes, you could look at the VIX 1920, that's fine, but sometimes we still get choppier behavior when the VIX is 19. But when the volatility begins to expand to such a degree where one false move, you're wrecked. You've got to reduce position sizing, and you've got to be astute enough to be that nimble in this environment. So, yeah, buddy. I caught 60 points on the NASDAQ long. Risky, but I trapped sellers at the bottom. I like glitch. Beautiful. Beautiful. Once we get that 3C trigger, which we can't do it yet, Right here at 720 is our 3C trigger. Calls are absolutely, I mean, the options are aggressively looking better. I might actually sling an S&P play today, not the NASDAQ. Maybe both, we'll see. The S&P looks a lot more promising than the old NAS. Right here. The options are straight up. They're going to give us a bounce. Might be a good options day today. Might be a good options day today. $74.30. ES needs 74. What is that? ES needs a higher of 30.25. NASDAQ keeps getting demolished. There's no buyers yet at all. You need the 3Cs. You need the 3Cs right here. They will give us a bounce eventually today, of course, but we have to be very patient. We have multiple bottom wicks in this area. The 3C bottom wick from 945 is still in play, but we have to have a higher high right here. Right here, baby. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what they can do. Blast it. We'll see. Like I said, I do think that temporarily is the key there. I do think that we are putting in a temporary bottom for this morning session, and that's what we're seeing here. So large green moves across the board. Finally starting to hit. Can they hold it? This 5-minute candle is muy importante right here. Not to mention 10 o'clock moves coming in. 74.37 up and away right here. Can they hold it? Can they hold it? Right here, baby. Right here. Long or short? I thought that was obvious, but long. Yeah, my bad. My apologies. Market is sell first mode, no dip buying. Interesting. Interesting. I don't disagree, but I also, there are fantastic opportunities here, but I don't necessarily disagree. The macro environment is quite bearish, but right now the conditions are 100% buy the dip, 100% for temporarily. 74.38, 74.40, we're going, baby. We are going. ES is 74.38, NASDAQ. Their 50% is 27,820. They do have a 3C on the NASDAQ. I chose not to play NASDAQ on this one simply because it's too spicy and I don't feel comfortable calling out a NASDAQ when it's moving this aggressively. You've got to be nimble. You've got to be nimble. Ooh, NASDAQ just got crushed. That's why right there. That is why I'm not calling out a NASDAQ trade, because I don't feel comfortable trading with 100-point candles. By the time I get in and out and you jabronis try to follow me, even though I said don't, you're going to get destroyed. So I'm glad I didn't trade NASDAQ. NASDAQ continues to get clobbered. Not to mention, the other reason why I chose to long on the S&P, not NASDAQ, is this right here. This right here. There's a lot more support on the S&P than there is on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ got smoked. They're down. Multiple names are down almost double digits. And yet the S&P is bright freaking green right here. Bright freaking green. So there's a lot more support there than there is the NASDAQ. Another sweeping top wick off the 50% right there on NASDAQ and the S&P. And NASDAQ just dumped 140 points. 140 points in 1-minute candles. This market is about to drop 30%. It's time to start smoking swing put positions. Smoke and swing put positions. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. %30 sell-off is coming. 30%, baby. 30% sell-off is coming. 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 30% sell-off Ooh. Ooh. 30% in one day? No, not one day. No. Not in one day. Sweeping top wick on NASDAQ. Didn't even get to the 50%. The NASDAQ is some of the most bearish price action I've seen. I think this is the most bearish price action I've seen this year. Right here. Yeah, buddy. What you got, YouTube? What you got? One swing. I want some good entries. It's coming. It's coming. I typically don't like to swing into FOMCs, which are tomorrow, but the day after or even the afternoon of FOMCs when I love to start allocating. So, yeah, buddy. Tremendous amount of call buying, put selling at the moment. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to rock it yet, but it just means that we are beginning to base. We are starting to put in the protective measures on this market for now, juicing some of the premium. We all know who's watching the markets, of course, right now. He's probably sweating bullets or sweating chicken nuggets looking at the charts right now. He's like, oh, someone typed me up a tweet. Someone typed me up an Iran tweet. And we're just waiting. Who's going to save the market? NASDAQ 700 right here. This was the channel I thought we'd be in today. Also looking for possible false breakdown to the 7408. A false breakdown. I really had to have to start waking up earlier. Yeah, man. Every time I wake up and I see a massive move overnight, I was like, man, I should have been there for the Asian Open or the London Open. But that's so early. It's so early. Alrighty. I miss trading on Pacific time. Done by lunch. Heck yeah, baby. We've had 3 top wicks off of the 50% range, which is 74.39. We're going for another attack on that level. This is make or break for the buyers here before we start to fall into the abyss. Right here. We're standing on the edge of a cliff. If the bulls don't hold on to this, they're about to jump off a cliff without a parachute. Right here. This is a key point of contention for the bulls. Right here. Key point for the bulls. I'm in along with the wiki price action and taken away. You got some multitasking mad skills. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Massive top wick NASDAQ. NASDAQ is getting dumped. NASDAQ is getting dumped right here. If they fail this, it's going to be all she freaking wrote. There it is. Let's see. Let's go tick here. Must be from flying that plane. Well, multitasking is a crucial feature that makes you successful in aviation. Definitely. She's going to go. Now we're just back and forth. Who's going to win? $652, $651, dropping back over. Dropping back over. Accumulation stage. I don't know, man. I don't know. You need to have in accumulation. You don't want to see aggressive top wicking all over and over and over again. You just don't want to see it. Getting wrecked all the way down, 27,620. Last base of support is entering this area right here. All the way down. All the way down. Top wicks. Sweeping top wicks on the 15, 27,600. The Dow is up 385 and my watch list is all red. Yeah, it's because of this. Look at the watch list right here. This is a tech-driven sell-off. SanDisk is down almost 20%. This is a massive market move. This is a very, very aggressive session. NASDAQ is, the tech is getting destroyed like, I don't think I've ever seen a discrepancy like this in some sort of major catalyst event. Getting absolutely pummeled, whereas tech is insanely green. I'm sorry, NASDAQ, or the S&P is insanely green right now. Insanely green. If tech was green, this, like, the S&P would be up 200 points. That's how green the S&P actually is. But NASDAQ is getting so destroyed, it's almost impossible for this thing to move. But it's also why I'm not long on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is, yeah, it's crazy. Why is the Dow up so much? Right now, there is massive rotation out of tech. I mean, look at the tech. Look at this. This is the reason why everything else is green and NASDAQ is red. Right there. Look at that. Tech is getting smoked unlike anything I've ever seen. You would have thought that, you know, Iran bombed all of our chip manufacturing factories. The way things are looking. NASDAQ bouncing. Are they going to do it or not? Right here. Yeah, Korea got smashed, but that's not anything different. You know, Korea's been getting smashed now for 2 months. They had like a 15% negative day, a 20% limit down, 7% last night. I mean, they're just getting smoked left and right. I don't even know how Korea is still trading with how many days they've gotten smashed over the past 2 months. Do you mind sharing your watch list? I will, 100%. I'll give you a watch list. Oh, they changed it. Okay. There you go. China agrees to buy H200 chips. Yeah. NASDAQ getting dropped again, 27,600. They have now surpassed the 2% mark and dropping. We do have a tremendous amount of volume coming into these areas. Right here. 74.14 a strong support. We've blown through a lot of strong supports right here in this area. Yeah, I've already banned them, but you've added them as a friend, so I can't stop that. Dude, and no, you can't. I guess you can't hear me. Right here. All right. A bunch of liquidity just came in at 74.30. 1,000 lots on NASDAQ. Or I'm sorry, an S&P just came in at 74.30. NASDAQ still sitting here 27.630. No bounce to be had. No 3C long. They keep on putting high volume bottom wicks on, but there's not a single 5-minute high or high. This is insanely insane. This is as bearish as price action gets right here. Without a global pandemic being announced and markets dropping 15%, this is as bearish as things get without an outside catalyst. Without an obvious catalyst, this is as bearish as things get. On NASDAQ, at least. The S&P is holding up just fine. Chilling. So far. Right here. What's crazy is those H200 chips are actually really gnarly for AI data centers. Straight put selling, call buying for now. They just filled 1,000 lots. We have no large icebergs. I finally got my iceberg indicator re-added and kicking. Love it. Does Hero have a queue option? They do. Yeah. Anything that has options traded, you can look up on the Hero. Occasionally I'll track NDX, but I don't get a lot of value out of the NDX. There's so little on it. But yeah. I looked into buying one. It's the cost of a Toyota Camry. It's crazy. 1,200 lots of on S&P sitting at 74.35. 1,200 lots on the S&P pulling higher. Let's go take a look at. Oh, now it's 7,500. 1,200 lots at 7,500 on the S&P. The options are straight bullish. I'm telling you, they are going to set up for a bounce here. They are going to set up for a bounce, but we have to get there and absorb all this selling. Right here. What are they going to do, baby? Maybe a liquidity sweep. 27,800 NASDAQ. The S&P's doing its thing, baby. If this guy got filled, it would be crazy. It would be crazy. Will he get filled? Apple officially launches Klarna, leasing US to make phones and Macs more affordable. $17 a month for leasing an iPhone. People who agree to lease an iPhone deserve what they come to them. If you have to finance a phone, which by the way, phones are like the worst possible thing ever. Like, do yourself a favor. Don't get a phone. Go back to flip phones. But if you want to lease that, it's terrible. Terrible. El Terrible, my friends. El Terrible. Doesn't every phone company finance them with 0% interest? Yeah, but it's you own it. You don't lease it. They do that monthly payment program where you actually own the phone, which is also terrible. But it's at least you own the phone. You're saying I shouldn't have ordered the $1,800 Chinese phone? No, you should not. No, you should not. Tremendous call buying, put selling. The options have pinpointed this low. We have huge order flow up at 7,500. We are starting to put in some bottom links, but the sellers clobbered that one again. Sellers are clobbering every. If you notice, what are the cycles right now? We don't talk about this very often, but what are the cycles right now? Can anyone tell me? I can see what the cycles are just by looking at this time frame. I can see what the cycles are. Only if you want to get spied on. The Z Fold will change your life. Yeah. $27,630. That was a hammer, inverse hammer, 100-pointer. They started to go and demolished. Every single green candle is demolished. Any Rasky books I recommend? Trading Sardines was fantastic, but it wasn't necessarily a trading book. Anyway, yeah, so I'm referring to the scalping environment. The cycles are 1-minute candles here, meaning you're seeing a 1-minute candle close, an immediate counter reaction on the next 1 minute, and then immediate counter reaction on the next 1 minute. And it's just flip-flopping on the 1-minute charts. The second the 1-minute candle closes, the next candle counters. So that's telling you that the 1-minute chart now is the cycle that they are pinpointing here. So the 5-minute is showing up on the 5-minute as expansion, contract, and expansion. Like the candle will expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract. The 1 minute is just flip-flopping back and forth, which, by the way, massive green. If the bulls can hold this candle without being a bunch of sissies, we'll finally get our bounce to the 50% Fibonacci, with is a 27,811. I need to learn how to say the larger numbers in Spanish. I can only say like double-digit numbers. Massive call buying and put selling. The options are excellently bullish. We have order flow at 7,500 on S&P. Right now, I would have to say that, what's his name? Who was saying that this looks like a false breakdown? He looks like it to be more correct. The setup is for that right now. Yeah. If the bulls can hold these bounces, we will have our reward. What are the cycles? The cycles of the 1 minute chart right now is what I'm seeing. 1 minute chart. Man, those options are bullish. Sellers are smashing every single one candle on the 1 minute. The second the 1 minute candle closes, the 60-second candles close, the next candle, the very next candle is counter. So you have to survive the 1 minute moves, and then the 5 minute candle is what you're going to get the overall, obviously, the collection of 5 1 minute candles, obviously. We do have a 3C trigger on the 5 minute here on NASDAQ, but NASDAQ is very spicy. I'm talking like 5-star Indian food spicy. Another top wick. Another bottom wick. Conditions, baby. Conditions. The difference between being bullish and just added a T. I like it. I like it. It's fantastic. What's up, YouTube? Who's here for the first time today? You're digging the music? Nice, Nomad Trader. Appreciate it. Want a little ambiance, you know? Big volume 1 minute candle on gold. I love gold. It seems so simple, yet 5% of the population can do this. Ooh, let's read this. I like stuff like this. 12 physical tests every man should be able to pass, but most people cannot. Run a mile in under 8 minutes. 400 meter run in under 130. Bench press their body weight. I can do that. Deadlift 1.5. I can do that. Squat their body weight. I can do that big time. 10 consecutive pull-ups. That right now that might be iffy. It would be close. 30 consecutive push-ups, easy. 2 minute plank, easy. Pull-up bar for 1 minute, easy. Touch their toes without bending, easy. But carry your body weight 50 meters. I can do that easy. I do that frequently. Perform 10 full burpees without resting. Easy. I am a little thick right now. And I'm 40 years old. We got our first trade posted in the Discord channel. That noise you hear in the background is chickens. Here for the first time. Nice, Savage. Welcome. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can hang out again. We are teaching volume price action basics, fundamentals, right here. Did I get stopped out? No, not even close. Not even close. If you cannot do 10 pull-ups, that needs to be your immediate focus. Lats are crucial. I'm pretty sure I could. It's just been a while since I've attempted. I train pull-ups, but I know how to eat Pine Beach tan. I know what I need. Massive put selling and call buying. The options are incredibly bullish, but the dealers are making us work for this. They are making us sweat and shaking our little space boots. 1,200 lots sitting at 7,500, which would put us a new high of the day in. Right here. Right here, baby. Oh, yeah. Make sure, by the way, if you haven't already, go to Spotify and check out the Making Millionaires podcast. I have a podcast that's free and open for Spotify users. Let me know what you think. They're anywhere between 10 to 25 minutes long in length. What are we going to do? NASDAQ needs to clear 720 to get this move going. Right here. There's 1,200 lots sitting at 7,500 on the S&P. Yes. 1,200 lots. I love podcasts when I'm driving, better than radio. Definitely. Another hammer down on seller. The sellers are defending this upper range like it's freaking like the beaches of Normandy. This little range right here is like the bears know how important this range is, and they are defending it with vigor. That is correct, JJ Butts. That is correct. Yeah, I like podcasts better too, man. I think even good music and bad music all together, I think people are becoming addicted to music, especially the younger generation. They have to have headphones in at all times. You know, the earbuds, 24/7. They walk around with earbuds listening to music. They have to be like sound distracted 24/7, and like you're missing great opportunities to learn. You're mowing the grass, listen to a podcast. You're driving, listen to a podcast, an audiobook. Learn something while you're doing all this instead of just distraction with music and sound. Or just have silence in your thoughts. It's good stuff, man. Sometimes it's good to spend some time on yourself. ES kept getting rejected at the VWAP on the dot. Does not bode well for the bulls. Well, we do need to clear this. So this little shaded region I just put on the charts here, that is the line in the sand for the bulls. If we can close this, we can theoretically start to look for 74.52 on the S&P. We have liquidity higher. We have a very, very, very bullish options chain. I am the younger generation. I'm 40 years old, homie. I'm talking about like the 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I have a 16-year-old, so, you know. I've been watching a lot of your videos. What does the opening sound say? Sounds like military radio. Yeah, that is an opening. That's a military radio call. So I put it on there because I couldn't find one that was more in line with what I do. Dude, I love 1122. That dude's amazing. Joby Martin, fantastic. He's my second favorite pastor aside from my pastor. A lot like me, bald, kind of in shape, not the best in shape, but my body type is like, if you look at me, you can tell I work out, but I'm not shredded. I like tacos too. Round is a shape, yeah. You could tell I like tacos. Am I a pilot? I am a pilot. Yes, sir. I'm a pilot. All right, 74.32. The S&P still rejecting this range. NASDAQ is 27,690. I like shredded lettuce, though. I do like shredded lettuce. They have removed that liquidity at 7,500. Can I see abs? I cannot see abs. I haven't seen abs since 2014 2018. I'm sorry. I had abs in 2018. I got down to 197 pounds in 2018. I was in pretty good shape. I did a lot of CrossFit competitions in 2018. Another top wick on NASDAQ. It's 27,700. What are we doing? I had some really good street tacos last weekend. Nice. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where Dan finds all these videos. I think Dan generates these videos. Another rejection off this range. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 time rejection off this range on the 5-minute chart. Aggressive 10-point rejection on ES. Cannot claim a higher high at all. Not yet. NASDAQ, 27,682. Did you see that AI is now controlling drones and making kill decisions in Ukraine? I did see that, unfortunately. Dan uses Claude to make GIFs for every situation. Yeah, I need to make my own personal GIFs. The nice thing about your 3Cs, it's a perfect for us older generations. Absolutely. You know, I keep things very simple. I'm not the smartest dude, man. The 3Cs was born in simplicity. I like to keep things very simple. Even when I'm flying an aircraft, keep things very simple. Don't overcomplicate things. You have to maintain a clear head. You have to keep things very, very simple. I was molded by simplicity. Hey, massive green candle. Look at the options, bro. Or bruh for the younger generation. For real, bro. Look at the options, bro. Look at the options, bro. Let me show you this. I hate Streamlabs desktop so bad, I want to punch myself in the face just to give me some relief from the pain of using Streamlabs. I want to vibe code my own thing. All right, look at this. This is Spot Gamma's hero tool. Right here. Green lines are going straight up. Blue line is going straight up. So what does that signify? That tells you we have call buying, put selling. Once again, the hero tool nails the bottom in Launchpad, baby. Now, we're going for 7,500. I want 7,500, like the turkey needs the axe. Right here. Up, down, left, right, start, select. How do you fight the urge to not trade? Asking for a friend. Sniper. When a sniper is sitting in a position like Carlos Hathcock in Marine Sniper, fantastic book, by the way. When a sniper is waiting for their target, let's say they're given a target. It's the general. You need to kill the general to win the war. All right? So you're waiting there. You're lining up at the general's base. You're waiting for him to stick his head out. But in the meantime, 15 little peons walk out. You know, lieutenants, staff sergeants, E3s, E5s. Are you going to smoke them just because you got an itchy trigger finger and give away your position, ruin your shooting, waste all your ammunition? And then all of a sudden, after you're done shooting them, the general comes out. But guess what? You've already given away your position and you don't have any more ammunition. No, you're going to shoot the general. And that's what I am. I'm shooting the general. That's what I'm doing here. I don't care about scalping back and forth every single little candle. When something is jumping off at the screen of me, I get excited. Everything starts to align. I put the position on and I wait. That is it. That is it. I'm not in a hurry to take a trade. How do you ID the general? Well, that's a different conversation entirely. That's the 3Cs. That's the 3Cs. What we're doing here on the S&P right now is like we have our general identified. Our general is solid setup clearing this range. And we just had a massive move. That is a 15-point move on that on the S&P to get over this range, and the sellers are starting to defend it. But if we can close this range, then we'll have our move up to 7,500. Massive top wick again. Riddled. Look at that massive top wick again. That's aggravating. That's a 15-point top wick on the S&P. Again. So once again, the beaches of Normandy are beat back by this range, 74.37 range. It's aggravating. I'm sure YouTube's going to flag my stream for that analogy. Am I not taking any profit on these pumps? No. Because again, I am waiting for the big move. I want the move up to 74.50, 74.60. Y'all ask me how to get big trades, to get big trends. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. It's not about taking the small wins. It's about breaking structure, holding structure, and then moving up. If that 5-minute candle would have closed, I would have locked in. If that 5-minute candle would have closed without getting absolutely clapped, I would have locked in. But unfortunately, it couldn't even close. It's a very, very supply day. I use Normandy with my students' exam day. Door open and good luck. Nice. Nice. Imagine all the keyboards that were just destroyed. Yep. Well, if you're chasing 100%, if you're chasing these candles, you're going to have a bad day, man. You're going to have a bad day. ES is 74.30 right here. We have tremendous options bullishness. Tremendous options bullishness. Can we survive the wicks, the game of wicks? When you play the game of wicks, you either lose or you die. Your grace. 74.37. Right here. Can they defend this range? If they can hold the range after stopping out all the longs, we will have 74.68, 74.60. But we got to hold this range. The options are insanely bullish. Insanely bullish. Call buying, put selling. We have liquidity on the book map to 7,500. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here. You heard it here first. The bald jabroni. OMSMR. Yes, sir. I'm looking to get a new microphone. One of those Shure microphones. I have a what is it? What the crap is this thing? I don't even know what this is. Bob's microphone. I'm in the process of building out the studio, so we're going to be going on camera here pretty soon. I actually could get my my Pilot headset and hook it up to the computer through XLR. It wouldn't be very good, though. You would hate it. It's crazy how bearish everybody gets on these drops and then absolutely nothing compared to what could happen downside-wise. Yep. All right, if we could close right here, like I said, this range is your huckleberry. Right here. This is like the last half of the scene in Saving Private Ryan of the beach scene, where they're starting to throw Bangalores over the berms and they're starting to climb up. Look, I washed for supper. This is where we got to climb right here. And then we start coming up to 74.52. Right here. I think you should not show your face. I'm not sure we can handle it. Perhaps do the entire show in a pilot helmet. Well, the bad part is I can't get a camera that is too high quality, like high def, because it'll just it's terrible. You don't want to see that. I need like a heavily pixelated camera. Can we stream Mrs. OM? Dude, that if I put her on stream, I would get millions of views. I would go viral, but I can't do that. I can't do that. $74.40, still going. Can we get 7,500? If we can survive this wick, we will be paid. Sure, 7M or SM57 is a really good mic for the money. Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks, Manny. Create a Mrs. OM AI. You talk, but she's the image. If we can get this right here, we will get paid, homies. Who took SPA? Who took calls? Someone talk to me. Who took calls? We're about to get paid. We're about to get paid, homie. Go to the pawn shop and get an old VHS and connected RCA. I love it. Mojo, I know Mojo is, baby. Yeah. I'm in calls. Nice Dalai Lama. Hey, Llama. How about a little something, for the effort, 74.50 is our target at this moment. Can we get it? You're welcome, Ben. Bienvenidos. You got calls. I got calls in different area codes. 2.6 billion in calls purchased. 3 billion in puts sold. Phenomenally bullish option chain. Did I just hear we're getting an OM OnlyFans? You know what I want to do? I want to create an OnlyFans account, except I only show pictures of fans. Sign up for my OnlyFans, where you look at OnlyFans. That would be a massive troll count. I'm sure somebody's already done that. It's too obvious. Some dad has already done that. Here we go, baby. All right, we have closed it. So what does this mean? What did I say to y'all? If we close the range, what am I supposed to do from a technical execution standpoint? Remember, I'm not trading here off emotion. I'm not trading off hope. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to lock in profit, right? We've closed structure. So now by my system rules, I have to roll my stop up into profitability. I cannot give up profit after this move, because if they do smoke it back down, that's all she wrote. The bears will smoke back down to 74.16. So now that I've held long enough to close structure, my system dictates that I have to move stops up. And I swear if they stop me out, I'm going to throw my keyboard. And I like this keyboard. I like this keyboard. Instant top wick. Can they hold it? Come on, bounce it. Hold it. There we go. There we go. 74.39. There's a chick with a cooking channel called Only Pans. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Locking in my take profit trader accounts, baby. Still one by one, Take Profit Trader continues to be the best prop firm in the business. I firmly believe Take Profit Trader is the best in the business, all around prop firm. Go do it. If you're interested in the prop firm community, go sign up for a Take Profit Trader account. You won't be disappointed, especially when you have 5 accounts copy trading, taking daily unrestricted payouts. No nonsense, no news, no garbage, no drama, no payout caps, no delay. Use code OMTPT at checkout for 40% off. 803/4 looks like a level that might push lower. So I now technically cannot have a losing trade here. I've locked in profit on my trailing stop. I cannot have a losing trade. Now, the only question is, how much do I get out of this profit? Do I get $7,500 for a banger of a trade? Or do I get stopped out for a couple of points? Right here. Right here. Right here. 74.42 on the S&P. Do we get the gigantic green candle? There we go, 74.44. Looking for 74.50. Looking for 74.50. $74.45. Bong bong. The captain has now removed the seatbelt sign. You are free to roam about the cabin. You are passing over Idaho at flight level 7400. We may be experiencing some bumpy weather here and there, but overall we intend to get you to your destination in a nice, easy, tight hour 45. Appreciate you flying OM Airlines. I love it. 74.47, 74.48. We are coming up. We are coming up. Boom. 74.47. I've noticed trading ES on prop overnight is more relaxing than regular hours. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. There we go. All right, 74.50. We are now locking in Viente points on the S&P. And now, I am not going to accept a large drawdown on this move coming into the morning high of such as a bearish day. So I am locking in some profit here. I'm going to take a contract off at 74.50. First exit, 74.50, ready to go. Muchas gracias, TMR. Boom. Boom. All right, I'm taking it right here. First exit, I'm going to leave another contract on for the remainder of the run. Well done, people. Well done. We just made our money for the day. Leaving one contract on. You're welcome, Noob Noob. You're welcome, Ben. You're welcome, Mojo. Vente, not Viente. Oh, my apologies. I need to learn Spanish with y'all. Just passed another eval. Beautiful. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? That's twice I've called the bottom. 2 days in a row I've called the bottom. All you got to do is wait for volume, baby. You got the voice? That's right, Jimbo. I was a military pilot for many years. 74.52, I've got one contract running. 74.53. I'm going to set my stop. That's a good question, Jim. I appreciate that question. I'm going to go ahead and roll my stop up on the remainder at 74.45. I'm going to leave it at 74.45 and give it a chance to pump to 74.68. That's right, Dalai Lama, I do. That was sick, OM. Yeah, buddy. You took an L again? What happened, Magabagooli? It got a little spicy there for a second, not going to lie. I started to get a little queasy, but hey. Stop set 74.45. And I'm going to leave it there. Why didn't I buy some SpaceX at 107? Dude, you'll get your chance at 100, Ron. You'll get your chance at 100. Don't worry. I'm telling you, man, when SpaceX goes below 100, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging. When SpaceX goes below 70 and 40, I'm going to buy an amount of SpaceX shares that my financial analyst would call irresponsible. I'm telling you, I'm not even joking. And I'm going to hold it for 30 years, and I'm going to sip mimosas the rest of my life. I'm going to retire. It's going to be fantastic. I don't have to deal with you jabronis anymore. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love y'all. Love it. Love it. What was your stop on the entry? My initial entry, my stop is below the day's low. Below the day's low. Do I use Hero to help identify an intraday bottom top? That is a correlating entry or indicator. Bookmap, spot gamma, anything other than price action is simply correlation. My primary mechanism for entry is price action. Primary, first and foremost. Everything else is secondary in nature. Bookmap had liquidity at 7,500 to the tune of 1,200 lots. Spot gamma is showing aggressive call selling or call buying and put selling. Now, the put selling hit first, which tells me that they're simply selling premium. So selling puts doesn't necessarily tell me that the price action is going to bounce. It simply tells me that the price action has fallen low enough and put premium has gone high enough that the dealers are going to start selling that premium to lock in profit, like H. Lopez. He does that. Mojo. Chris. I haven't seen him in a while. Hope he's doing okay. Premium sellers. Now, when the call buying starts to hit, that's what tells you the market is ready to go back up. So a correlation of both is fantastic, not to mention we already had the price action. I took the long position, and now we're rocketing, baby. And now we're rocketing. We're defending the morning high right now. The morning high is currently sitting right here at 74.53. If we close at 74.53 without volume and you have a lack of a 3C trigger, now we're coming up to 74.70. Now we're leaning on the 3Cs for an exit. We leaned on the 3Cs for an entry. Now we're leaning on the 3Cs for an exit. You'll see that in my book coming out later this year. Once Claude helps me write this book, baby. How to Be a Jabroni by Options Millionaire. So, how many contracts do you want to buy? When are we doing a meetup? I'll be honest with you, man. After what happened a couple of weeks ago, I was ready to squash the whole idea of a meetup. But if y'all still want to do it, I'll definitely do one. I'd love to meet a lot of y'all. So, what happened? No, just all the DM. Remember that 1 week? The reason why I decided to even start calling trades again, where despite my best efforts, y'all kept on shorting the market, and I was mad. And but you know what? I'll do it. I'll still do it. So, well done, B Money. Well done. Where do you see all these puts and buy orders? Let's take a look at. Let's take a look. If you take a look at the screen, you see Spot Gamma, Heroes Tool, HIRO, which I'm also an affiliate of. I only affiliate with companies I believe in. I wish I could affiliate with myself. 3 billion here. The green line and blue line going up. It signifies call buying or put buying or vice versa. It's presented at delta notional, so you see the axis to the right, the y-axis to the right, and I don't mean Italy and in Germany. I just mean the y-axis. 3 billion in delta notional, meaning we have a tremendously bullish option chain, very positive delta. Positive delta means that buyers are inherently long the market. Put selling, call buying is both bullish position, and we flew, and that started at the bottom. ES has already put on 30 points, almost 40 points. We longed most of it. We longed most of it, baby. Yeah, buddy. If we do a meetup, though, which we will, there's going to be 100%. There's going to be a fitness component. Like, we're going to be doing fitness together in the mornings. For those who want to, of course. It won't be mandatory. You won't be graded on it, I'll say. There'll be extra credit. So if you want to do some fitness with OM, come do it. $74.53, holding up to 68. Can I bring a rifle? Absolutely. My long-term goal is to have the farm built out where we could do a farm conference here at the old land. Especially when I build out the infrastructure for our wedding venue. We're doing a wedding venue. Y'all could stay there. I'll give y'all free entry into the wedding venue to hey, you want to get married here? I'll get as part of the OM Discord. I will give you a ticket for a free wedding venue for you and the wife. On my land, that's right. The only difference is that you have to call me Your Grace when you're here. Your Grace. You guys like pancakes. Is that transferable to dependents? No, that's you got to be the original holder. I expect 20. I'll get 20 pull-ups by the time you get here. I'm still trying to trim off some, so we'll be good. Oh yeah, buddy. Where exactly did I enter my trade? I entered the S&P at 74.30. 74.30, and I posted that live entry in the Discord server. I don't call out trades on YouTube, so I'll give you all education for free on YouTube, but you cannot. I'm not going to give you my trades. I have to leave something for the Discord peeps. So if you want to get the live trade entries, come join the Discord server. Head over to www.theoptionsmillionaire.com/pricing. All the kids that grew up in the 90s remember like the commercials when you'd watch TV and like the commercials and they'd start talking about websites. Like you remember that voice? And the commercials are gone nowadays. They don't do that stuff. You know. Stopped out, 50% win, done. Nice Pine Beach, Dan. I tried to short the bounce on ES earlier this morning at 10 a.m. and I took an L. I feel you. I feel you. Once you are in a TPT intraday trailing drawdown phase, do you hold runners on a day like today? If you are in the trailing drawdown for the TPT, you cannot hold a drawdown that long. If you're in a trade that's profitable, like this one, you can't hold through the drawdown. You're going to wreck accounts with the trade. That's the only downside of TPT is the trailing drawdown. So you've got to take profit if you are using that account. Even if you're in a static drawdown, like, do you want to hold through a 30-point drawdown? Do you even want to do that? My favorite 90s commercials were for Sunny Delight. Dude, I can't even remember the last time I've even seen Sunny Delight. Is that even still a thing? I feel like your organs would glow if you drank Sunny Delight. It's probably not delightful at all. That's what I was thinking, but I get FOMO when I see folks hold the whole day. Well, don't get FOMO. Not the trades that other people take matter not for your trades, good sir. Nothing matters except what you do on your trades. Little Sunny D never hurt nobody. That's probably banned in Europe. It probably is banned in Europe. But then again, Freedom is also banned in Europe. So what are you going to do? You just re-entered Spy Calls. Nice, Nomad. Yeah, buddy. Welcome to the YouTube stream. If you are new and first time seeing us, please throw a comment up in the comments section there. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have. How'd you find us? How'd you find the YouTube stream? You can use it in a car battery. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Beautiful stuff. What time is it? It is 11:01. We have 29 minutes until London close. The London markets close in 29 minutes. And we'll go from there. Can we get... Oh, my bad. I apologize. I forgot I left Hero up there. Thank you for letting me know. I'm not very technical. Y'all got to help me out sometimes. It's like when you go to Walmart and you go through self-checkout. Sometimes you got to do your own thing and help me. You got to self-checkout. Freedom is going to be banned here too. Yes, sir. You're absolutely... Yeah, I saw that story, man. That's crazy. What's up, Noob? See you manana. Thanks for being here, buddy. I'm considering getting out. You know what I'm going to do here? I've got one runner left in my S&P. I'm going to set it just below this red candle. I'm going to set it right here at 74.42. I guess everything Edward Snowden was telling us is true. 100%, man. 100%. All the conspiracy theories are coming out to be true. First trade in almost 2 weeks. Took 60% and done for the day. Back to sitting on my hands. Nice. Side gig. Nice. How do you find your spots to place your 50 Fibonacci? That's a good question, B-Lod. So what I do, I find obvious pivots and I plot the highs and I plot the lows. So I take my Fibonacci tool, I'll take the highs and lows and I'll drag it. And this will give me the 50% mark for the range. Now I take the morning range and I take the obvious highs and lows. Obvious highs and lows is going to be the next overnight high lows. The next range is going to be, holy crap, I can't even talk. The next obvious range is going to be the overnight high lows, which will be here to here. And plot that. But that's pretty much already been dealt with, so I wouldn't leave that on my chart. Right now, I would do the morning levels, the morning range, which is right here. Doesn't BB visit Trump today? I don't know. I knew you were the right choice. OM, love trading by your side. Appreciate you, Ben. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for being here, and I appreciate the continued success, the continued membership in the community, conversations, good stuff. Coming down. That trip to stop for my last contract. Right there. Outlast runner. Right there. Now it blasts. Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. Good stuff, baby. I'll take it. I'll take it. I like the fact I didn't trade NASDAQ. I could have probably made more money with NASDAQ, but I'm glad I didn't, simply because it was too aggressive. Too aggressive. Can you post the link to Hero Spot Gamma? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm going to lock in another payout today. Take Profit Trader, do it. There is Spot Gamma right there. I'm also an affiliate of TRADIFY. I do believe in TRADIFY. I think TRADIFY is a good company. My only critique for them is the payout cap. I don't like people telling me what to do with my money. But yeah, TRADIFY is a fantastic brand. I don't recommend anybody else. I don't recommend Top Step. I was a Top Step trader for a long time. Top Step is terrible. I've tried Apex. They're obviously terrible. I've tiptoed into it. I tried my funded futures. I did not care for them very much. Nothing bad about them. There's nothing bad about them per se. I don't know. I guess the vibe wasn't there. TPT and TRADIFY are the best. I don't know what else to do here. I called the bottom perfectly. We did that together. From here on out, I'm not really sure what we're going to do. Massive bottom wick on ES and NASDAQ. Wouldn't be surprised to see a large blast. Any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, criticisms, compliments, stories? Y'all tell me about something about yourself. Everybody stand up and tell me your name. Tell me something about yourself. What's your favorite color? Literally hit your stops and runs. That's okay. When are we getting an OM ETF? Whenever I get 200 grand a year to pay the fees. My name is Jeff. Yeah, to run an ETF is like a couple $100,000 a year just to pay the fees for entry. I'm good. You know how you know you're getting old? When you look at your phone text messages and 6 messages down is from June. I get no text messages. Just make crypto. My name is Jeff. All right, coming down. Another top wick. Another top wick. So they're doing the build and collapse, build and collapse, build and collapse. Here on NASDAQ and the S&P. NASDAQ just put on engulfing red, and then up there, another top wick, another up there, another top wick, and now they're building back up again. If NASDAQ gives out this little support here, then I would expect, I don't know, 700 or so. Like I said, I don't know what else much to expect here. We do have London close coming up in 22 minutes. We have another, like 3 sweeping top wicks here on the 5 minute. So the sellers are still pummeling this price action after the initial run up. NASDAQ is much more bearish than the S&P. If you're going to do any kind of major longing, the S&P might be a safer bet today, at least with proper position sizing, of course. But right here. I broke a losing streak today. Nice, nice, Majestic. Well done, buddy. I'm glad I could be a part of that and help you out. Hopefully I helped you out. Well done. If NASDAQ fails this candle, I would look for a retest of the prior resistance of 720. And that'll be your first target. 720. If they fail it, of course. We've already had our big sell this morning, so it's hard to look for another resell. But we'll see. NASDAQ blasting back up. Let's go look at the S&P. 74.43 bouncing off the 50% rejection right here. Does the 3C work in the middle of the range? It does work in the middle of the range, but the average trader typically doesn't want to mess around in the middle of the range. Typically, you got to be careful being smack dab in the middle of the range because you're going to get faked out all over the place. You're going to get faked out left and right all over the place, and it's just not going to be good. Massive green move. Look at that. Instant 100-point bounce on NASDAQ flying. Just absolute launch pad. Right here. It's good stuff, baby. Absolute launch pad. Love it, baby. Love it. Is Hero too expensive? It depends. It depends what you're looking for. Here's the deal, and here's my spiel on this kind of stuff. You're welcome. Tech now. Here's the way I look at all this stuff. Bookmap, any options data whatsoever. If you are relying on it for your primary mechanism for entry, you are going to have a very bad time. You're going to be very disappointed, and this goes for anything. Your primary decision making and bias creation needs to be driven from price action and volume. Everything else is secondary. Everything from indicators to software to alert signals to me to everything. Once you've made your determination based on VPA, you use everything else for correlation. So if that correlation is worth the money to buy these tools, then do it. If it's not worth it, then don't do it. If you've got the extra money to spare, do it. How about we give away a 50K TPT account? I made $17 per contract on a 22.90 entry. Nice, Mojo. Well done, buddy. Well done. Congratulations, man. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Right here. Can I explain my trade for this morning? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let's go over to the S&P. So I elected to trade the S&P because it was more bullish than the NASDAQ, and that was driven through environmental conditions. Environmental conditions are insanely bearish for tech and insanely bullish for the S&P. You see there are multiple names on the S&P that are up over 1%. XLC, XLRE, XLV, XLP, XLY. XLF is very green. The only thing that is red is tech. Now, it's a lot less red than it was this morning, but this morning was insanely red. So, from there, because of environmental conditions, I elected to trade the S&P. Not to mention calling out trades for you jabronis is a lot better when NASDAQ's not getting whipsawed 100 points at a time. And you'll have to cry to me in DMs, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So what do we have? What was the first trigger for me to look for a long entry? Anyone see it? Boop. Boop. Bottom wick with the highest volume candle of the day on the 5 minute, right there. The 945 candle was your first indication for a high volume support, and it did it. It put in the bottom of the market right here at 74.16. Now, after that, all I needed was my higher high to get me long. I needed the 3C, the third C on the 5 minute to get me long. If you've been in the server for a while, you know that I don't always wait for the third C to close on the 5 minute. Sometimes I'm taking the first 2 Cs, or sometimes I'll confirm the first 2 Cs on the 5 minute, but the third C on the 1 minute. Well, I needed a higher high to get it, and it came right here on the 920-ish candle or so, back and forth, a little bit before on the 955 candle, and I closed it. Once we closed 74.30, that's when I elected to go ahead and take the long position, which is right there at 74.30. Now from there, we blasted all the way up to 74.41. We got top wick back over. That's fine. People began to ask me, well, what's your stop loss? Have you stopped out of the trade yet? Not even close. At no point did we break market structure on this candle. In fact, we kept defending higher highs. And that, my friends, is the essence of determining when to get out of a trade. Low, hold on. Let me do this. Hold on, before I get dramatic. Low, 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 low. What do you see about all the pivots, the lows? It's all right. You can say it. You can tell me. Well, y'all are boring me. Lower lows stopped. Change of character stopped. We went from lower lows to higher highs, or higher lows. I'm sorry. We went from lower lows to higher lows, which tells you a change of character, a reversal in trend. We have a fully correlated 3C confirmation. And then on top of that, we had the hero indicator was putting on a tremendous amount of calls and a tremendous amount of put selling. Bullish reversal. It screamed bullish reversal. We took an entry, off to the races, and that's all she wrote. Make sense? That's why I wait. That's why I don't chase the short side in the open. That's why I trade the upside on the upside. It's fantastic. You're welcome, Ben. You're welcome. And I've locked in yet another payout on Take Profit Trader. We're on a tear, baby. We're on a tear. We're on a tear. Thank you. You're great. You're welcome. Deuteronomy. Call buying, put selling. Up, up, and away. How does it feel to be that good at reading the market? Feels pretty good. I like it. It's fun stuff. It's God has blessed me with some great tools. There we go, 74.60, we're blasting. Is TPT using people's profitable accounts to copy trade with their money so they can fund the business, or do you think there's enough capital to generate fund their firm? No, the evaluation is 100% where they're getting most of the revenue. The average trader cannot take a payout to save their life, unfortunately, and they're spending a ridiculous amount of on eval fees. And that's why I tell you all, do not go down the spiral of reset, reset, reset. I would rather you put money into a real brokerage account than sit there and piss away $30,000 worth of evaluation resets. But unfortunately, the average retail trader is hemorrhaging money into evaluation resets because they cannot control their emotions. Trading 15 times a day will lead you to destruction. If you're trading 15 times a day, that tells me you are doing one or two things, if not both. One, you have no discernible system on which to enter, so you're entering on everything. And two, when you do take a good entry, you're closing the trade too early and jumping back in because you're FOMOing and then causing additional losses. You're chasing price action, reactionary trading, and that's causing you to blow up valuations. Evaluation rules on prop firms are so strict that it does not allow you to have stupid trades. A high quality system will make a lot of money on prop firms and risk management, of course. But if you are reactionary trading, if you're chasing trades, if you're trading 20 times a day, you will blow up every account under the sun. Doesn't matter which company you're trading with. And unfortunately, prop firms' business model relies on that fact that retail traders will reset 1,000 times on their evaluation fees, and that will fund the traders. There's countless prop firms now, and they're all making millions upon millions of dollars. Look at this. Blastaroni with cheese, green candles, baby. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What the crap? Still going. 15 times $100 is $1,500 per day trader, imagine. Yep. Blastaroni still going, baby. 3 C's prevail. I took huge money out of this and reset it to 500 yesterday. You demand options money. Nice, Lowen. Well freaking done, man. Well done on that account. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Blastaroni, baby. Blastaroni. Coming up on London Close, baby. Here at Options Millionaire, we call the bottom. What questions y'all got? Right here. $1,500, 15 times $100, $1,500 per trader. Yep, I mean that's pretty common with all these companies. 100%. 100%. A disciple is resetting $1,500 a day. Dang, man, you got to stop spending all that money. GameStop's going with it? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I exited MES at 58 for a small profit. I'm watching it keep going. Do I need to wait for it to bottom again to enter the trade, or is there a safe way to enter for the rest of the run to 75? Well, that depends on your thesis, man. I can't tell you that. There are times to chase price action up here, and there's times to not. If you've already taken a trade, do you need another one? Do you need another one? That's the question. So, when your last runner gets stopped out right before it's launching again, do you get FOMO? Yeah, sure, I'll get FOMO. There's nothing wrong with actually getting and feeling FOMO. It's just, do you act on it? So I get FOMO all the freaking time. Still going. 74.70, still going. Options are so bullish, I have to zoom out. Like it's insanely bullish. I should have been trading options today. I would have made a tremendous amount of money if I was trading options today. Almost $7 billion in positive delta. Look at that. Boom. Right there. You joined the Discord. Nice, Mecca. Welcome to the Discord. Appreciate you. Let me know if you have any questions. Blasteroni, man. I'm in the market for a new very nice office chair. My current chair is 22 years old and is finally starting to fall apart. Any recommendations from the community? What is the plan going into FOMC tomorrow? I don't know. I don't like to make a plan going into FOMC. I like to make a plan after the FOMC ends. So the day after FOMC is typically when FOMC likes to put on the big move, and that's what I like to do. ES and NASDAQ is going. ES has already taken out high of the day. Remember, I called 7,500 this morning, and people are like, what, really? 7,500 today's session, do you think? Yeah, buddy. We're not there yet, but we're heading that direction. 28,000 on NASDAQ. Absolutely rocketing. Absolutely rocketing. Buying the dip. Buying the dip, baby. This week's close is extremely important for this range. If they close this week on a bearish move down, it will start a pretty heavy correction. Kind of what I was talking about this morning on the macro charts, is that this is an incredibly important position for the bulls, for the order flow. That ES long was sweaty for a few minutes. It was a little sweaty, yeah. Hands are sweaty. There's vomit on my sweater already, mom spaghetti. But now we're blasting, baby. Right here. Should have held my runner. Blast off, baby. Blast off. NASDAQ has a pivot at 28.03, and after that we have 28.05, and we're going to start inching our way back up to the 28.260. NASDAQ is straight freaking up. Look at this. This is an absolute squeeze pump of people trying to chase this move. 74.70 and going. Should have traded options. I love it. I love it. Love it. We are still in a range. Sellers could take back control, or are they hands off and just let it pump? I mean, 100% they could. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I'm seeing here is just the bulls re-engaging and defending this level. You see how important this level was. 74.17 on the S&P has been the bottom side pivot since Thursday, July 23rd, coming up on a week. And they've bottom wick aggressively off this range, and now we're starting to put in some higher moves. Now, will they re-engage this afternoon? Sure, could. Right now, the micro signs don't say that. Right here. Why did you not re-enter on the 1010? I mean, you know me by now, Gio Churio. If I get one fantastic trade in and make my money, my motivation to take a secondary trade goes to nearly zero. That's just the way I am, man. I can't control it. I get lazy after I take my first trade, if it's that good, because it's like, I'm good, man. How do you think a day like this gets started? Do the institutions sell a boatload of puts and then start going long en masse, or force the market up? You know, I don't know. I have my suspicions based on reading the order book and being a VPA style trader. Is the one thing we have in common, and the one thing institutions have in common with each other, is they can see the liquidity on the book, and they can see it faster than we can. You know, we have tools like Bookmap and Spot Gamma, but they've got the Bloomberg. They've got access to almost instant, if not actually instant data. So they could see the order book, and all it takes is a little bit of pressure, counter pressure, to start moving the market in a very big way. When things start to get very bearish in the open, I say retail loves to short the lows, but it's not just retail. It's any big money that is not in the know. And I'm not saying the dealers, but I'm saying there are, dudes out there with a couple of $100 million that are not that great. So any liquidity that starts to short near the low position, all it takes is a little bit of counter position, and then the market starts to fly. Puts start to get closed, which changes the underlying options exposure. Short positions start to get squeezed, which causes a fury of buying, and then the actual buyers begin to hit and starts to have liftoff. All it takes is just a little bit of counter pressure to trigger emotions, which causes rallies or sell-offs in the market. So are they working together to start a massive move up? Maybe, maybe not, but they can definitely. The order book doesn't lie. And the order book will position itself when it gets too far extended to go back the other way. But it's all about mean reversion. It's not a good idea for this style of trading to start to look to extend already extended moves. A massive sell-off, especially 2 days in a row, it's not a good idea to look to short that. Most of the time, a vast majority of the time, countering those positions is your best bet. When the trade starts to become too far extended, it's your best bet to start looking to counter. In this case, buy the dip. How do points translate to real dollar amounts on the ES and NDX? If you're looking at the S&P, they are $50 per point. So every time the S&P goes up 1 point, you make $50. On NASDAQ, it's $20. Every time the NASDAQ goes up 1 point, it's $20. But NASDAQ moves a point like it's insanely fast. So a typical 1 minute candle on NASDAQ is between 30 to 40 points, which if you do the math, that's anywhere between $800 to $1,000. You welcome, Vampire. You have to start thinking in probabilities of mean reversion. What's the most likely outcome after a 2-day hard sell? Temporary bounce at least, for the worst case, and a massive V recovery best case. So, if you've noticed, I'm still not doing a whole bunch of shorting. I'm still taking short positions, but I'm still not in the ballpark yet of taking a lot of shorts. That looks like it's going to be changing soon, where I'm going to start aggressively shorting a lot, but I'm not quite there yet. So, yeah. Any final questions before we call it a day? We are through the London close. People have kind of drifted off, and it's the end of our time together. Awesome day today. Yeah, buddy. Hope y'all have a good rest of the session. Let me know if you have any questions. Come join the Options Miner Discord if you want to see more or want to get part of the day trades. Otherwise, I will see you all bright and early for another fantastic day in the markets. Hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm out. See you.